banking update.
Go ahead, Bob.
So when I came on board and Jim came on board, we started evaluating our banking service, the level of services being provided, as well as the return on investment. So we contacted a few different institutions to try to get competitive pricing and rates, and you're required every 4 years to do that, and it didn't look like that had ever been done here. So we did that. We put out for proposals and met with several different institutions, and we got some very encouraging news back and some positive things that I think are going to be in place for the town. I'll brief you on some of those. So First Horizon Bank out of Kingsport came back with the best offer to us. They offered us several what they call treasury services, which are going to allow for efficiency within our department as far as deposits, how many times we're having to run back and forth to the bank. And then they're going to offer us what they call a sweep account. So they give you interest on your checking account every day, and it helps pay for the services you're getting. So it ends up being, we're going to earn about $50,000 a year on those checking account funds after paying for the services. So it's going to be a benefit to the town. And then our savings account, they gave us a 3.4% rate on those funds. That's going to bring in about $34,000. So we're looking at an additional $85,000 in interest income in the coming year just by making a switch in banks.
Who's our current bank?
First Community out of Churchill.
So 85,000.
In addition,
In addition.
that we had not planned for before.
And that's Horizon Bank, not Horizon Credit.
First Horizon.
Other Horizon.
Well, we did have Verizon down here, but we don't know.
That's gonna be the name of the bank, First
First
Horizon.
Horizon. And they will offer us several things that help deal with fraud. So when we write checks, we will let them know what checks we're writing, and they will check those when they come through and make sure that nobody forged a check, messed with the check in any way. A lot of protection that's going to help the town from any potential fraud. Because it's rampant. People try to do things like that all the time. So it's going to allow for more efficiency and better return on the investment. And I think it's going to be really beneficial to the overall financial status of the town.
So how's the financial status? How is it?
It's in good, it's in great shape. The fund balance is, we have several months worth of fund balance.
Correct.
The budgeted items versus the revenues look good. And then we have our, majority of our fund balance in an LGIP account. It's earning about $13,000 to $14,000 a month in interest. So things are looking, in an environment where rates are going to start going down. They may hold steady now that there's been an election, but I think to lock in some of these rates and be able to project some returns on our investments, I think we're in pretty good shape.
Great.
And
Just
there'll be
an
a financial report for your November meeting.
Just an example of the savings increase, savings yield for the percentage. I mean, we were probably dealing with a 1% return, and now we're getting 3.4. So we got a significant yield on our investment for the town, and so Tyler and I both take the financial responsibility that we have with the town very seriously, and that's why we had this conversation and making sure we're complying with the law of every 4 years exploring other options and those things. So that's the reason for the move and the discussion point.
I just wonder if you guys ever tried to use some credit union?
We're not allowed to use credit unions as a municipality. No, we are not.
Not for public funds.
What is y'all's process for transferring the banks?
So they're starting to implement some of the services and test them out before we fully switch over. We did go ahead and transfer some of our funds to get those accounts open. We're going to have to keep the operating account open in our current bank account for a few months to make sure all the straggling pieces get switched over, but it's in progress, just so we can get that ball rolling and start earning some earnings on those dollars. And so it's in progress right now. We anticipate it to take a couple of months to fully switch over.
So is that something that you physically take care of, or is that something that the bank is switching on
I
themselves?
mean,
We're
Friday,
taking care of it,
Jim and I went and took care of some of it together, and
yes.
we'll have to finish that out as those, opportunities come up where we need to just take action. We'll be doing that in person, so, and then there's on the financial reporting side, there's, documentation to show that, and then there's entries that are made into the accounting system so that everything's transferred over correctly.
And that brings us to item 3, unless somebody has